So today, we're going to talk about the marketing funnel, but I want you to forget whatever you learned from those dusty old textbook diagrams. We're going to look at this as a living, breathing idea, one that's constantly changing with technology and, well, with us. It's a classic concept for sure, but it is far from being a relic of the past. But first, before we dive in, I've got a kind of weird question for you. How in the world is tofu related to a marketing funnel? Yeah, I know, it sounds totally random, but just stick with me for a second, because the answer is actually the key to understanding this whole thing. All right, the answer is acronyms. Not the food, obviously. We're talking tofu, mofu, and bofu. It's just some handy shorthand that marketers use for the top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. It's how they map out that whole journey a customer takes with a brand. To really get it, though, we have to go back, way back. We need to start where it all began, with the simple, classic idea of the traditional sales funnel. This right here is pretty much the granddaddy of them all. I mean, think about it. Before social media, before Google Ads, businesses still needed a way to picture how a total stranger becomes a paying customer. This model was their roadmap. And you know, the real beauty of this original model is just how simple it is. It's a straight line, right? First, you become aware that a product even exists. Then you get a little curious, so your interest grows. After that, you start weighing your options to make a decision. And finally, you take action. You buy the thing. It's a super clear path from what's that to I'll take it. And here's where our tofu acronyms come back into play. At the top of the funnel, the tofu stage, the only goal is to get on someone's radar. That's it. In the middle, mofu, it's about becoming a serious contender, one of their top choices. And then, down at the bottom, the bofu stage, it's all about closing that deal. Each step has one very specific job. But then, of course, the world changed. Big time. The internet came along and it completely flipped the script on how we all shop and talk to brands. So that simple, straightforward funnel, well, it had to evolve or get left behind. The first big step in that evolution was blending marketing directly into the funnel. Suddenly, it wasn't just about the final sale, it was about the entire journey that marketing creates to guide a customer all the way through. Now, this new model adds a really important stage, desire. And this is huge because it shows that marketing's job is now to create an emotional connection, to make you want the product, not just think it's a logical choice. And see how the last step is now conversion? That's also a key shift. A conversion feels less like an endpoint and more like the beginning of a real customer relationship. And that brings us to the modern era, with a funnel built from the ground up just for the online world. This is where things get really fascinating, because online, the way we interact is just totally different. What's so cool here are the stages that reflect brand new online behaviors. You've got engagement. That's massive. Customers aren't just passively seeing ads anymore. They're interacting, liking, sharing, commenting. And then there's remarketing. Oh, this is a total game changer. It was basically born from online window shopping. It lets brands reconnect with all of us who showed interest but got distracted before we could hit buy. So the really crucial point here is that final stage, retention. The goal isn't just to get that first purchase anymore, not even close. In the digital world, the real win is building a relationship that turns a one-time buyer into a loyal fan who keeps coming back. The funnel doesn't just end, it loops. When you put them side by side like this, the whole evolution just clicks, doesn't it? The journey went from a simple one-way street to this dynamic cyclical relationship that's built on clicks, content, and creating long-term loyalty. So where are we today? Well, now this core concept has just completely exploded. It's not about having one single digital funnel anymore. Nope. The idea has been tweaked and tailored into specialized tools for just about every marketing channel you can imagine. The variety here is just incredible, and it really shows you how flexible this idea is. Take an e-commerce funnel. It's laser-focused on standing out from the crowd and getting you to not only buy once, but to keep coming back. Then you've got a social media funnel, where the main goal might not even be a sale. It's about turning customers into passionate fans who shout about your brand from the rooftops. And a content funnel, that one's a slow burn. It's all about building trust over time with helpful stuff like webinars or demos to gently guide people toward a purchase. Each one is a custom-built tool for a specific job. Okay, so after that whole trip through the history of the funnel, what's the big idea? What's the one thing you should really walk away with? Here's the bottom line. A funnel is not some rigid, unbreakable rule. It's an adaptable framework. There's no one-size-fits-all magic solution. The real power of the funnel is its flexibility, how you can shape it and mold it to map out the perfect path to whatever your specific goal is. And yet, for all that complexity and all that specialization, every single funnel, at its heart, comes back to this simple 4-part foundation. It doesn't matter if it's a blog post, a TikTok video, or an old-school window display. The goal is always to guide someone from awareness to consideration to conversion and finally to loyalty. Which leaves us with one last fascinating question to chew on. We've watched the funnel adapt from the sales floor to the internet. So with game-changing tech like AI and virtual reality about to totally reshape how we connect with brands, what do you think the next evolution of the funnel is going to look like? What new stages will we have to add? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.